So the party, at the last adventure, they eventually gained the cure to the fungal plague, and they headed back to Clarion, where they administered the cure and started to save single-handedly started to save the whole of the village. While they were there, while they were there, Julius was called to the cage that contained, if you remember, and you are a follower of the campaign, the young lad, the teenager that was brought in from the caravan that was wrecked. And everybody was destroyed on the caravan, including Bazooka's ex-friend. Ex because she's no longer alive, Bazooka. But you have a new friend now called Bruce. And he sort of like was the only person left. They went to the cage and they suddenly realised that the guards, there was something quite wrong with the guards. And one guard transformed into what can only be called a werewolf and attacked Julius, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was right. Rurik stepped forward and evoked burning hands and set fire to a local building, the cage, and the werewolf quite effectively. There was a smell of singeing, burning fur for quite a while. And then, because the cage was on fire, Alval bravely stepped forward to release the teenage lad and got him out just in time before he was burned to death, who then promptly turned into a wolf. Somebody got enlarged, I think. Ereval got enlarged, and the cage got enlarged. And then they actually followed. The werewolf was very threatening to you, Julius. Very threatening.
Yeah. He said bad words.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what you actually think about that at the present moment in time and how it fits into story or not, but we'll come to that in a minute. And then Ereval and Tenariel tracked the werewolf through the forest and eventually came to a barrow, as in an undead mound, where there seemed to be some kind of meeting. The others ransacked the village for sources of silver to make weapons because they found out that although the recently transformed werewolves you could kill them without silver, the big werewolf actually did require some kind of silver weapon. So Tenariel and Ereval came back to the village of Clarion, and I'm going to pick it up there and tell you what's happened over the last few days. So generally, guys, throughout the time, Ereval and Tenariel, you decided that it probably wasn't a good idea to leave this barrow sort of like unattended. So you have been making regular treks out there and keeping an eye on what's actually been happening. You notice that this conclave, this meeting, lasted what appeared to be 3 days, well, almost 3 days, because on the third day when you returned, you noticed that the two werewolves that were stood at the front, if you remember, were guarding just inside the tunnel, were no longer there. The rest of you searched the town for silver, and unfortunately there was no more to be found, not even from the mayor, after Julius tried to persuade him quite effectively. There was, of course, the constable was keen to give you various silver that he possessed, but the town became somewhat, well, the leaders of the town became somewhat concerned that even though they had rid Clarion of the fungal plague, because things are slowly getting better, it would appear that the village now has another issue at hand, which could be a possible attack by werewolves. The village is completely unprepared for this due to the lack of silver weapons, and there is various talk going round this town at the present moment in time, including leaving the town altogether and taking the whole village off to Thorndyke, which is the nearest town. However, due to your prestige, due to your power and your action that you have helped the town over the last few days, they have decided to invite you. It's a bit like Miss Marple. I would never go with Miss Marple if she was going anywhere, or Lewis, because, you know, if you go with them, there's bound to be a murder, you know, and I think that's the same sort of like thing at the moment. Okay, so they've invited you guys to a town meeting in the tavern where you are quite familiar and quite used to sort of like camping out. I'm just deleting your characters off that, and I'm going to bring them in so you can decide exactly where you would like to sit. The town meeting, they've cleared the bar, the tavern, of everybody else, and the only person who's in there is the barkeeper. And round the table, you should be able to recognise some familiar people.
We're still on the...
Oh, yes, sorry.
Sheet.
Everybody else has moved. I'll move you up. Chink. There you go. You should be able to notice some familiar people. Do you recognise...
Barman.
The barman, well done. He is there. Do you recognise anybody else sat at the table?
Tenariel. Julius.
Yeah, any of the NPCs?
Hold on, let me get my... isn't the...
Lawrence.
Yes, Lawrence is there. Can you see Lawrence? Can somebody ping Lawrence? Yeah, we're close. This is actually Lawrence, but that's Lawrence, but he's Lawrence. This is actually the guy in the purple is actually the mayor. Okay, and Lawrence is next to him. The woman is a leader of the merchant guild here in Clarion. The guy next to him is the woman next to the guy next to her is the blacksmith, and then this guy here is the town the guard, the captain that came in with the guard.
Zebedee.
Yeah, well done. Yeah. So there is room for you all to sit at the table, Julius. You just need to decide which corner you would like to sit
It's
at.
okay. It's okay. I know the barman well. I can get on the table.
Get off the table!
Okay, he's not that.
Okay. Is Roger just curled up round your neck, Warwick?
He's hiding in my beard.
He's hiding in your beard. Okay, cool.
That's a good way to keep warm.
I thought you said beer.
Okay. And does he have any instructions?
No.
No. Cool. Okay then. So the meeting starts off. They would like to inform you that this is a very open meeting, and everybody should say what they want to say in order to try to continually to protect the town of Clarion. There is the barmaid and the barman and the keeper, but there is a solitary barmaid who's coming across, bringing you drinks and keeping you topped up with food, etc.
Her name?
So say again, sorry.
I couldn't remember her name.
Her name's Maggie.
Too many Maggies. Okay.
Yeah, not the one that gave us the
Maggie.
No. So the mayor is leading the meeting. So gentlemen, we have somewhat of a problem here in Clarion, and this meeting has been called to help us with our noble friends here. Well, some of them noble, to actually help us to come to some sort of idea how to protect the town from the werewolf or the possible werewolf attack in the future. And the people here are here not because they are all noble birth, but some of them definitely are, but also because they have helped us in the past so much, and we value their help and assistance. Silence falls.
I've got a good solution.
Master Gnome wishes to speak. Please stand up.
Can the real rock gnome please stand up?
Yes. So the werewolf came for Julius. So in order to save the town, I say we get rid of him.
So, is it the fact that Julius is the reason that we have this werewolf problem in the first place, Master Paladin?
I believe that when the caravan got attacked and you captured this individual that turned into a werewolf, you brought the problem into your own town without my assistance.
So, please tell me the connection between the werewolf and yourself, Master Paladin.
I've been hunting this beast down for quite a while. Wherever his trail takes me, I will go and try to stop him from causing any harm to any civilians or others again.
It's Lawrence. Can I just sort of like suggest maybe if you have been tracking him down, then maybe you should continue to track him down?
I completely agree, and that is my best hope that I do.
Or maybe we can use Julius as bait.
That could be an option as well. I completely. That is.
Zebedee comes in and sort of like says, the only problem you have is your lack of silver, it would seem. Master Blacksmith, what is the silver? What is the possibility of equipping this group of adventurers with silver weapons of some description? Well, he says, to be honest with you, even with the silver in the town, there's still not enough. We're still not going to be able to equip them fully with weapons. And even now, there's only going to be a limited amount of arrows we can supply the archer. So, and if they're estimates, how many werewolves are we estimating here?
We saw dozens at their lair.
And how, just out of interest, how many arrows to take down a werewolf? At your expertise, your specialism, are we talking about one? Or...
Well, there seems to be multiple qualities of werewolf that we've encountered. The simple ones could be taken down in maybe 2 or 3, especially if we've got support from the rest of the group. The larger one, it's hard to say. He definitely seems to be more powerful than the other ones that we encountered.
Can I just say that this whole matter is just so unbelievably scary, and I just really don't want to talk about it anymore, if at all possible.
Unfortunately, madam, if even if we do not talk about it, they will still be there.
I feel like I'm Mavis off Coronation Street or something. Whoever, I've never actually seen it, but I just think the whole situation is absolutely deadly and not really a place for us ladies. She looks across at you, Tenariel, and sort of goes, us ladies to sort of like be involved with this. The mayor butts in and sort of like says, Madam, as the leader of the Merchant Guild, your place here is defined and you have to be here. So, Captain of the Guard, what do you think? Well, the Captain of the Guard sort of like ponders for a while. He says, definitely more weapons, and then we make an attack. We share some of my able bodyguards who might be more proficient and experienced in the field, and may even be, he looks over to you, Arval, be able to take down certain monsters with one hit. We'll definitely accompany the party, and then definitely do all of a sudden the merchant guild woman goes, ah, oh, and it's like everybody, what? Everybody goes, what's the matter? What's the matter? Rurik, you actually notice that Roger is no longer in your beard. He's no longer there at all. And she's sort of like, there is something going up my skirt. Something quite slithery. The blacksmith goes.
I send Roger to his pocket dimension.
Okay, he disappears. Oh, she says. Oh.
Sorry. We haven't met Roger, have we? None of us have met Roger or seen Roger.
No, you've just seen some kind of lizard now and again poking its head out of Rurik's beard.
Right, okay.
You ever seen Family Guy where he grows a beard and a bird flies into the bird?
Yeah. She says, I'm very, overcome.
Well, come over.
She says, I may need assistance getting home. She sort of like looks around, hopefully at
yes. My back straight awkwardly, like
I do this and I point Julius.
everybody does that wonderful thing as a meeting when they say, and who will be able to take this up? Everybody either looks at the ground or leans back so they're not in the line. The blacksmith says, I suppose I could take you home again. He doesn't look too chuffed with it. He says, I would like to make a recommendation. He says, we obviously need silver, and there is a place that there is quite a lot of silver. The mayor says, I don't think that's an option, Master Blacksmith. Don't think that's an option at all. But, Mayor, there is quite a lot of silver there, and quite a lot of other precious metals, if we care to venture forth. And with this valiant party here in front of us, surely they should be able to rid us of what lurks in the mine.
Precious metals?
Yes, Gnome. Master Gnome. Precious metals. Gold. Not only silver, but also gold.
Ooh.
And the elusive platinum. And not only that, rubies and emeralds and diamonds.
We get too worked up.
As big as your fist.
Okay, I'm done. Oh,
I hope this is not a dwarf mine.
Perhaps you can explain what threat led you to abandon this mine with such rich rewards.
Is it the blacksmith you want to answer, or the?
Yes, directed at the blacksmith.
Blacksmith. Well, he says, to be honest with you, things are just legend now, and we haven't been to the mine for decades. It's completely sealed from the outside, and we just don't venture there, mainly because of myths and legends. I often talk to the town captain, to Lawrence, and say, give me a group of men and I'll go back. And Lawrence says, oh, no, that we shouldn't do that. He says, basically, it's a mine. But legend says, and legend dictates and tells us that it's full of precious metals, of gold and silver and rubies and diamonds. And it brought a huge amount of prosperity to old-fashioned Clarion before we had to change our way of living to farms and merchant and guilds. It brought us a huge amount of wealth. Clarion once used to be double the size of what it is now. We all used to have huge mansions, similar to the manor that you now possess. Everybody had huge houses, and the the town was almost like 3 times as big. This would actually explain why the church and the graveyard is so far out of town, if you remember, that it would actually have been a lot bigger. And so it would have actually been in the town rather than now, if you remember, it's quite it's not even, there's quite a walk now to actually get there. But
that's pretty smart.
It's rather legend. Legend says that we became too greedy, and we, in true Lord of the Rings style, we disturbed something quite nasty.
What, Durgar?
Like a rock gnome?
Well,
Drows?
no. Apparently, there was some kind of vapor or gas. At first, nobody noticed it. But then the miners started to go mad. They couldn't sleep. The
You sent kids down there?
The nightmares were horrific. And then they couldn't escape the thoughts. They couldn't escape the demons that haunted their sleep. Many of the miners actually took their own life. Oh my, how awful! Please, no more, Mr. Blacksmith. Please, no more. And that is why.
How long have we been living here? And you've only just telling us now of this mine?
Can I roll a history? Because I'm a dwarf, I know probably stuff about those things.
Is it Master Gnome? This is all legend. It's probably just boarded up. But the mayor has never given me the opportunity to go out there. The mayor sort of like says, you've never heard about it, Rorik. You've never heard about it at all. And the mayor says, it worries me, Master Blacksmith. Do you think it's really come to going back to the Wittecombe mine? It seems rather a dangerous choice to actually venture out there. Maybe a small party, a small investigation party. For if we can get our miners out there again, then it would be beneficial to start harvesting the silver. And before long, we should be able to have weapons for many people, not just this handsome, noble, fearless party.
Turning to the mayor, this seems to be the only way to eliminate the current threat. But I want to make sure everyone is aware that we might be trading one problem for another if these legends are true.
You speak wisely, Ranger. However, if we know that the gas no longer exists, then we can mine. If we know that the gas is still there, then we know that the Wittecombe mine is out of the question. Maybe you have a small animal that we can put down there. Everybody, everybody looks at the gnome. Everybody just all goes. If the
Apart from me, I look at Rurik.
if the vapor has dissipated, then it should be fine. The mayor says, "I have a plan, and I love it when a plan comes together. I suggest the following process occurs. Lawrence, broaden your mind and start to think about people and training. You need to get together. You need to expand the town guard. We need more people to take on this werewolf threat. Blacksmith, you need to separate out the townsfolk. You need to be able to train blacksmiths black people who have little or some skill with a hammer and forge. Start training them. Do you know of adequate miners? Well, sir, there's some still in the town. I'm sure they would be willing to head out with a party. Good. We'll send them as a almost like a small party, a pilot, out to see whether or not the mine is still viable to harvest the silver, etc. from, along with the party, of course. That will give the fair lady some protection as well on her way there. And then you need to start training more miners. Town guards can actually start to secure the route between here and the mine to ensure rapid transport of the silver and other precious metals. Of course, the silver will come to the blacksmith. Any other precious metals can, of course, be kept.
In my pocket.
Can be kept at my humble abode until we decide what else can be done with them. Okay.
I'll look after it.
Does anybody...
Captain Zeverdeen, can you commit any of your men to help train the locals to build their contribution?
I think that'd be a good idea, Ranger. A good idea. I will definitely start teaching a small party some militia ideas so they are ready for the onslaught. I also suggest that we start creating stakes to guard the various entrances. Even if we tip them with silver, they might provide some limited, if not efficient, guard against the werewolves.
Can I make a suggestion?
Master Dwarf.
You stopped mining from quite a bit time now. Maybe you need to invite dwarves to extract the mineral for you.
Or gnomes.
If we knew of any dwarves or any gnomes, then we would do so. That both Rurik and Bazooka, you suddenly realise that even though you've been in this country for some time now, since you actually, if you remember, you got knocked out in your world and was transported to this world, you haven't actually seen another dwarf or another gnome at all. There's been humans and there's been elves, but that's been it. There's been no recognisable dwarfs or gnomes of any description, any fraction at all. You've seen goblins, but you haven't seen half orcs either. You've seen half elves because of Julius, and you've seen elves, but apart from that, you haven't seen any dwarves or gnomes at all.
What about the other town, the wood town?
Thorndyke is
the little gnome playing tags.
The mayor sort of like says, to be honest, I have not seen a gnome in all my time, in all my life. The captain of the guard, Zebedee, sort of like turns around and say, they are really quite strange. A strange race. Both the childlike gnome and the rather gruff dwarf. Very strange. Alval, can you just make a perception roll for me, please? Yeah, the maid who's been pottering around for the while, she's just changed the glasses round you, and she picks up the plate that was in front of you, and as she picks up the plate, as she pulls it away, she drops something from underneath the plate as if she was holding it underneath, and she drops it, and it's a piece of paper that lands on your lap. What do you wish to do with it?
It's the bill.
Can I casually look at it without drawing attention?
Well, you're right
like
next.
Sleight of hand or stealth?
Yeah, with either that you've got. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it seems to be a brief message, and it says, "Meet me outside after the meeting."
Okay.
Wow, chicka wow wow.
Get you outside about it.
The captain of the guard says, "What was that, Ranger? That peasant girl gave you?"
Maybe your
that's-
number.
I think she dropped a napkin when she was clearing the table.
Very strange. Very strange. That girl looks very familiar. Mayor, do you know of her? And the mayor says, Oh, Zebedee, in our town, all the girls look familiar. So the meeting is completed on the understanding that in 1 day's time, the party, as in you guys, will set off to heading for the Wittecombe mine, accompanied by 2 guards and 2 miners. Okay, the miners will be proficient in mining, and the guards will be proficient in defense. And the idea is that they will be able to come with you and be at your disposal. When you actually get to the mine, you can the miners can say about whether or not what's minerals, what's worth mining, etc. They can sort of like evaluate that. The mine has been closed for decades, so the miners you are with, they don't know. You can't sort of like say to them, is this the right way? Is this the correct way? They don't actually know about the mine. Nobody knows about what's in the mine. They only know of the rumours.
Before the meeting breaks up, can I try and get Zeberdine's attention?
Yeah, by all means.
Can you hold for just a moment? I'm going to pull out a pouch, take out the signet ring from the queen, the same one that has the compass of the sparrow.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to set it down on the table in front of him. Captain, I appreciate this token that you attempted to give to us and apologize for our mishandling of it. I was wondering if maybe you could answer some questions since I was able to retrieve it.
I am so pleased that the ring has been found. I will return it to the Queen once I have returned. He puts his hand out and picks it up. I have no idea how this actually got to the place. All I know is that the Queen reported it missing, which was quite unfortunate since it never really leaves her hand. Very strange. Don't worry, Master Ranger. A full investigation will happen about this ring once I return to Thorndyke. Some very serious investigation. Now, your questions.
Was I mistaken in understanding that you had given it to the Raven as a token of your assistance, offered assistance?
No, I did not give it to the Raven.
How did you know that it was in the Raven's possession then?
Well, we were suspicious that the Queen might be doing something rather, shall we say, illegal.
Can we tell to see if he's like a bit shifty and if
Yeah,
he's trying to hide?
you have a deception roll, so you can roll a deception roll.
Okay.
So hang on, all right, Julius is rolling it. Okay then. So I presume Ereval, you'll have deception as well, which would take it to the advantage. So 15. It's very hard to tell. He almost seems as if he's telling a story.
Can I use insight for that? I'm training it.
Yeah, you would have to use it as a group, and plus the other thing is you're right the way down the other end of the table, and I think the discussion was set up between Ereval and Zebedee. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Do you have any more questions, Master Ranger?
No, I just wanted to clear that up and
Yes.
make sure that I was returned to you.
I hope that has cleared everything up and we are at an understanding.
Indeed.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. We wouldn't want there to be any difference going on in the kingdom. He gets up and sort of like heads off to his room. The blacksmith sort of like, the guild mistress sort of like waits at the door with her hand out like this. And the blacksmith goes to order another jug of ale. And she sort of goes, "Oh, blacksmith, I'm ready to leave now." And the blacksmith sort of like looks at his ale, looks at her, looks at you guys, and he's almost like got this pleading sense, and then he just says, "Okay, fair lady, I am coming now." And they leave. Lawrence heads off with the mare, muttering, and you hear him saying, I do really think that I should become your personal guard if there's any chance of attack, and maybe take a position in the most inner sanctum of the town, and so I can give orders in safety. From a vantage point where nobody else can, nothing can harm me. I'm safe to give commands. And they go off, and you guys are left in the room by
The mayor.
your.
I look at Tenariel, Ereval, and just go. I don't believe that Captain Zebedee was telling a truthful yarn when he said that. I believe he was probably briefed of what to say if anyone questioned him.
I think you're probably right, but that's a problem for another day.
Indeed.
Speaking of which, I think I should. We need to prepare before we leave. I spent 30 years on my own in the woods. Worst thing I ever encountered was a pack of wolves. A couple of weeks with the group, and we faced necromancers and portals to other dimensions and werewolves and now some type of poisonous fog. I think I might follow after the blacksmith to see if I can be better equipped for our next adventure.
Cool. Well, you've got the whole of the next day. Are you meeting with the maid outside?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was sort of like suggested that should be done tonight. And
yes. Well, that's
The
slipping out was just excuse.
Oh, I got you. So as you go out, Erval, you see the maid outside, and she sort of like calls you over. So the rest of you, you'll be party to this, but whether or not you actually don't share it until Erval actually tells you what's gone on. So she sort of like signals across to you and says, I hope you got the message from the Queen.
You mean her signet ring?
Yes, it was the only way we could contact you and tell you about the. She's constantly looking around, and you don't think you've seen her here before at all. It's as if she's recently arrived, and you've never seen her around Clarion all the time you've been here. It's so important. We are worried about the Queen, and she sent you the message via the signet ring to ask for help. We're so.
Help with what? What is the nature of her difficulties?
Are you not aware?
No, the message was a signet ring. I'm not sure what it means.
All right. Well, the king is not himself. He's not himself at all. He's being haunted by dark dreams, very dark dreams, dreams that make him wake up in the middle of the night, soaked with sweat, frantically writhing in the bed. It all started when the mage arrived. The mage who seeked audience. It was after that the king's dream started.
Thorntongue.
You think he's being controlled in some way by this mage?
It is strange, for the king and the queen met the mage together, and yet the queen has no knowledge of the mage's face. It's as if within her memory there is thus a void of darkness. From entering the room with the mage to the mage leaving with its hood over its face once more. She is worried about the king. He's making decisions that are not truly in the nature of the king. She hoped when she heard the news that there was strangers in the country, she hoped that you would be able to attempt to rectify the problem. We are not sure how far this corruption goes. The king is not himself. The queen hangs on and tries desperately to control his decisions. We worry too that the captain of the guard is under the same spell as the king.
This is troubling indeed, but
Very.
I'm not sure why you brought this message to me, or what you think myself or my companions can do to help with it.
The queen heard that you were engaging with great evil and that you may defeat it. And she was hoping that if you could defeat one great evil, you may be able to stop this second evil in Thorndyke. She looks around and then she says, I need to depart. I'll try to be in touch. And she heads off into the darkness.
All right. I'll have to ponder that for a while. Is it possible to go to the blacksmith as well? I did want to try and upgrade to studded leather and possibly pick up a simple longsword.
Yeah, so you've all got your money. So you've got your money. So the it is normal trading prices. Clarion normally charges about 20% extra, but due to your wonderful ability to deal with danger and the fact that you are going on, they will actually waiver that 20% and will actually trade with you at normal cost. So you can buy anything that you wish at normal cost, and you've got your money in your character sheet, so you can trade away and get what you wish at sensible prices. You can't get anything like anything that wouldn't be commonly available or needs significant time to be made. So, for example, something like a scale mail shirt is not a problem. Something like a full set of plate mail probably is, and a full set of plate mail for either Rurik or Bazooka is even more of an issue because, of course,
1 year of work.
Yeah, it can't actually be made to, and you've only got a day. But anything else that you would like to buy, whether or not it be lanterns, flaming torches, ropes. I know, Rurik, you have rope and grappling hook. So a cage for the lizard. If you want to get any more weapons, then that is completely up to you. So I'll let my voice have a rest for a while, and you guys can decide.
What do we have any extra cash that's come in since I joined the group? Because I've got my start in cash. That's it.
There hasn't been much reward in recent
No.
quests.
I haven't picked anything up at all.
Oh, you poor adventurers. So,
Yeah.
so
I've got 15 gold. Yay. So I'll be going out with a big issue.
okay,
standing on the
so
street corner.
so after that you have 17 gold. No, sorry. The mayor is quite happy to allocate you some funds due to the good work that you've done with Betic Manor and doing the fungal
The
plague.
well.
So oh yes, and the well, yeah. So he is prepared. Now, Clarion's not a rich town. It's going to be a lot richer if it actually gets the Wittecombe mine back open. Then it'll certainly start pulling in the money. So, okay, the mayor is quite happy to say that he will allow you to buy what you need for the next adventure. Just buy it without a cost. And then what he'll do is that once the money from the mine being reopened, or when you decide to leave Clarion, then he'll sort out the tab, so to speak.
Okay.
So if you just type in the chat in Roll20 what you would like to buy, and then I know roughly what you've got. Now, while they're doing that chat, I would like to remind you that every week we have a wonderful. Thank you very much, Whiskey River, for your bits, for sharing your bits with me. I really do appreciate that. What I would like to say.
Thank you for sharing your biddies, Whiskey.
What I would like to say is that every week we have. I thought you might want a pearl costing 100 gold pieces, Ulrich. Which is for your identify. That's your identify spell, isn't it? What people in the chat, you have power in your hands every week. We don't play like other streams that we say you can give the parties things like advantages or anything like that, but what you do get the option of doing is voting every week who you think is which character is the best role player or the best fighter or the best general overall good guy. So it's down to the character or just purely the character that you like the best. And what you do is that you vote for these people, and at the end of the game, and I always forget, but Rurik always contacts me in Discord and says, who got it? But that person at the end, the winner, actually gets 1 point of inspiration, because I always forget to hand it out. So that's it. So I'm going to start the poll now. I'm just making sure that everybody's on it. Yeah. And it should come up there. So if you think, you don't need to vote now, you can vote later on. If you think Julius is the best role player or the best character or best fighter with his husky voice, then you would go for 1. Bazooka's 2. Tenariel the cleric is 3. Aravol's the ranger is 4. And Rurik the sorcerer is 5. So you just type in !vote and then the number. And please remember, it's the number in front of the character's name. Sometimes it's confusing. The people later on, it looks like it's the one at the end, but it's always the one in the front. Okay, so now is the time that the players start to put on their best role playing and tend to start pandering to the crowd. But it's up to you guys. Normally, Big Beastie tries to quietly vote for himself several times. The players do get a vote. I'm quite happy for the players to get the vote. And if there's a draw, then I have the final vote, and then I vote for that one, and that person gets the inspiration. Party members can vote for themselves, or if they wish, they can vote for anybody else.
And Whiskey would like everyone to know that his vote is up for auction.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. For any reason.
So assuming that
Okay,
everybody else stayed at the inn, I will return after an hour.
Yeah. So Cryptex, you want some studded leather to strap and a longsword. That's absolutely fine. Rulvik, you can have. There's only one.
That's not what it's for.
There is only one. There's only one pearl that costs, is of that grade in the town. So the jeweler says to you, please use this wisely, and if you don't use it, then please give it back. 2% of all exports swords of anything that comes from the mine. Okay, that is up for negotiations. I'm surprised you only went for 2 swords. Bazooka, what kind of sword would you like?
I was thinking something like that, because I still want to fight with 2 hands.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe.
Well, I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think your feat, normally dual wield only allows you to use light weapons, but I think your dual wielding actually allows you to use not light weapons. I'm not sure if I read that.
Yes,
Can I give my
Yeah.
Can I give my light mace to Bazooka?
Yeah, well,
Because I won't use it anymore.
so right, so let's give you some options, Bazooka. So you can have a mace if you wish.
Right.
You can have anything like you can have a long sword, you can have a rapier, you can have what about, and I know it's very similar, it's still a light weapon, but what about a scimitar, which is actually like a curved sword?
Yeah.
You know, which is something quite similar to your sickles. But while your sickles only do, as pointed out, only do 1d4, a scimitar would actually do 1d6. So it would actually take you up a grade. And you can actually dual wield those. And they would still have the curvedness that you like. You like a bit.
Yeah. I might take that. Or I'll take them.
But can I say something?
What about a rapier and dagger?
Like against skeleton or other stuff, they sometimes get damage reduction versus slashing. So having something that different from slashing is something to.
So you might want.
Wait.
It's not. I'm going on my character. I'm.
Yeah.
So Sprocketeer's answer is to have something like a rapier and a dagger, to sort of like have 2 separate weapons. And you can do that if you wish, or whether or not you would prefer to have. You could have 2 short swords, which would be exactly the same as well.
Good damage off a rapier, and it's a finesse weapon.
But that's not.
What do you use, Ray?
Not Bazooka. I think he's just coming into his own. So I think the curvedness of the scimitars, that'd be pretty much perfect for him.
Okay, so I wouldn't buy 1. I would buy 2.
Yeah, get 2.
And I would sort of like make the decision now to leave your sickles somewhere and just work on your scimitars, because you'll be proficient in them. So that's it. So I'll update your character sheet for you, unless you've already.
Mucho gracias, as they say in the Philippines.
So we will
say that in the Philippines.
Attack 1d6. It'll be plus your strength, and these will be scimitar. Oh, just can't spell. Scimitar. Let's make sure that is right. Yeah. So can you see it now on your character sheet?
Oh wait, yep. Sorry, yep.
Yeah. So can you see it's just exactly the same as your sickle, but can you see the
1d6.
damage is 1d6 instead?
Yes, sir.
And then that's the only difference. Okay. What was there anything else? I would like to get any adamant found it. Okay, we can work on that. Anything that's distasteful, leather. Okay. Studded leather. Is there a better long? There is. Your long swords are pretty standard, but your long sword is quite well made in any case, Julius, because it's your long sword.
Okay.
Can I get a bottle of cheap wine?
Yeah, they're quite happy to give you a bottle of cheap, very cheap wine. That's not
Because
It's empty.
because I need to drink the pill with wine.
Yeah, no,
To identify magic.
that's not a problem at all. They would definitely provide you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because now, so I need to make sure because there's now always 6 people in the group. Because there's the lizard as well. Changes the challenge rating as well, which is nice. Not by much, but it does. Roger.
When you swallow the pearl and try and sip the wine, you realise that your gecko is as nearly as much a drunkard as you are, and has already drunken all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to do the versatile quality in the character sheet, but have to figure that as we go.
Add the weapon twice, but on the second one,
Oh,
just
okay.
add 2H to its title,
Yep.
and then manually change the damage.
Yeah. Cool.
Can I get some chainmail?
Yeah, it'd be a chainmail shirt rather than full chainmail.
Not worth the hassle then. It's not going to change anything.
Okay.
That's all right.
Can I get a wizard robe?
Yeah, the only issue with a wizard robe from here is the length of it. So you probably the tailor, the seamstress, is quite happy to sort of like tuck it up a bit and tuck your sleeves up for you a bit, you know, to make it fit, because they don't make sort of like dwarven size things, even for kids. So the only issue is the actual, it sort of like comes into a natural waist, which is actually, you know, just above your knees, you know, but it looks fine, you know. It does it looks it just looks a bit strange, but that's it. Oh yes, 2-handed roll of 3 damage.
I will grab a shield,
Okay, cool.
and I'd like the holy symbol mounted in the shield.
That's probably going to take longer than a day, because you've only got a day.
That's all right. I'll just take the shield as it is.
Yeah, but you could probably keep it on your amulet, which would be fine.
Yeah.
So are we back to having a room at the inn? Because when we first returned to the chaos of the mushroom.
Well,
kingdom-
the good thing is, if you remember, 2 of the guards are now dead, and some of the guards actually died in the ghoul attack. So unbelievably, there is some free room at the inn at the present moment in time, which is good. You know, so there's plenty of room for you there. So if you wish to leave anything at the place,
Where have we been staying?
well, some of you actually slept downstairs in the inn, and some of you, if you remember, Tenariel stayed downstairs, and some of you doubled up in your bunks. Julius and Bazooka, you were already doubled up, and then in between that, you probably stayed at the manor house, which of course is yours.
So once we're done shopping, I'd like to try and discreetly gather everybody up into one of our rooms.
Yeah, cool.
Are we good with that? Moving on now?
Yeah, so you are discreetly gathered.
Okay, I'm going to hand Julius the note that the barmaid gave me and explain that she slipped this to me during the meeting. I spoke with her, and you are right that the Ricard may be hiding something with the ring, and then I will pass on everything that she told us.
Cool.
that she told me.
If
don't
if the guard is under the effect of a spell, I can detect it and identify it if you want.
If you identify, can you dispel it?
I will know what it is, but I'm not sure I will be able to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's something that's strong, I won't be able. But at least we know what it is.
Are you familiar with spells that would have such a permanent effect on someone's psyche? Because he's been in the village for weeks now at this point. I'm assuming at least a week or two.
Yes.
dealing
in
with
the
problems
in the
here.
dwarf community, and I think the gnomes too. There's a place called the Underdark, and there's monsters there that are really strong mentally and can produce those kind of things.
I've heard stories of the Underdark when I was a child. There are beings that do not belong in the light of day.
Yeah, but have you ever heard of beholders and those kind of things?
No, nothing comes to mind.
And it's not really fun to say, but there's two guards down there. They're evil black dwarf. Can do
Evil black
stuff too.
dwarfs.
It sounds like something that we need to investigate, but we have to sort out our immediate problems first.
Evil black dwarves, you're right. We need to sort them out.
Punch him in the face.
The name Druger, again, I was a very young child. It's been a long time since I've seen many of my kind. But I believe they were referred to as Druger.
Yeah.
But I know very little about them.
But enough talking about those things. We need to make a plan.
Well, we don't want to tip our hand. If the guard is under some spell, we don't need to make things worse in the town. Once we've dealt with everything here, then we can try and approach whatever's going on on a larger scale within the kingdom.
Yeah. But the issue here too is to identify the spell, I need to make a ritual, and it needs to take 10 minutes that I touch the guard. So if he's not willing to do so, there'll be an issue there.
Well, let's not expose ourselves. If you're able to detect it discreetly, go ahead with that. But otherwise, we want to put that situation on hold unless we're forced to.
Yeah, I can do that. Where's the guard in the town now?
They're staying in the inn too, right? They're the reasons why there's so few rooms.
Yeah.
How big are the rooms?
They're average size. You know, if you remember, some of them have 2 beds in. If you remember the assassin attack, so there was like 2 beds, a gap down the middle, 2 beds, then a small area at the back when there was some kind of table and a stool, and that was about it. Can you remember the one that somebody jumped out the window after
I don't know.
After the assassin? Who jumped out the window after the assassin?
That'd be me.
And then I followed him.
And then you jumped out the window.
Are they bigger than 30 feet?
And they're probably bigger. They're probably, well, how big's my room? I work in meters, so I always think my room's about 6 meters long. So if I times 600. I'll tell you in a second. The wonders of Google.
3 beds wide and a bed and a half long.
Yeah, they're about 600 centimeters, which is 6 meters, is about 20 foot.
So my spell could reach all the room.
Just put your spell in the chat so I can see it.
You have to be able to see the target, don't you?
That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're not identifying magic, you're just detecting magic.
Yeah.
So for the duration, you sense the pressure of magic within 30 feet of you. You can use your action to see a faint...
So if I walk just in the corridor, I can sense if there's magic in the rooms.
I think the common wooden doors probably wouldn't
Yeah,
be violated by those restrictions.
Yeah. It's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, 3 feet of a common of wood.
Are the wall this thick of wood?
Welcome back.
What I'm just thinking is that it says that you can sense magic in the general direction. So I'm assuming what you want to do is wander down the corridors with this in operation, and sort of like see whether or not there's any magic happening in the guard's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says it creates auras around them, so it might be a human shape light that he's able to detect.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and I can detect the school of magic, like enchantment, evocation.
But you won't be able to see through the wall. You'll be
I'll
able
be
to
able to
made out of-
sense through the wall.
You can sense the presence of magic within 30 foot. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object. Well, it won't be visible because there's a wall in the way.
Okay.
Can you prepare it, kind of like do it and then walk around with the spell in your hand when you see him, just go...
You could do that.
It's just casting, and then it lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're just for concentrating for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it might be better to wait till you know he's in the common area, cast it discreetly upstairs or around the corner, and then walk around.
Yeah.
All Zebedee will see is like little fingers round the corner.
Yeah, you might not even see that, yeah. Okay, so is that the plan to do on the day of travel? Because you spent this day getting all your belongings together. I notice that has people taken into account things like what you might need to go into a mine? So like things like lanterns, torches.
Like wrapping them?
Yeah, are you taking anything like that just in case you need them, or
making a list?
Yeah. It's like most of us can see in like dull light anyway, apart from, was it Big Beastie? You
all have dark vision.
Yeah.
You have dark vision, but the guys with you are human.
Sure, they'll bring their own, wouldn't they?
I was going to say they'll have a wagon with
well, if that's what you want them to
supplies and stuff.
Right, so that's absolutely fine. So they will bring with them. their
They'll
wagon.
know what they need.
Okay, then. So that's absolutely fine.
My explorer's pack does have torches in it.
Cool.
Or you needed them, but I guess it technically came with it.
Just whoever has that light spell, just cast it on one of them. There you go. Just walk in front of us.
Yeah, I'm a rock gnome. I live underground.
Okay, so they're quite happy to bring their own wagon with their horse as well. So that'll be absolutely fine. No worries at all.
Until they bring it inside the inn.
No, yeah, I'm just prepping everything up, ready to move it off somewhere.
No worries.
Oh wait, it's okay for the horse to come in with a cart
Yeah.
on the table, but when I get up,
So that's
Racist.
absolutely fine. So there.
Discrimination, big.
So is there anything else that you guys would like to take with you?
Can I take a link kit?
Yeah, by all means.
Also, did the master strategist spot more arrows?
I was just going to say that I assumed I restocked on arrows. Usually I make them my own, but we haven't fully established how long it takes for me to make them.
I think at this stage it's probably easier just to restock, since you've got the opportunity to restock free of charge, which would be fine.
Okay. It was just we had been several days back since we went through the woods.
Yeah,
So
so that
I figured through that time.
right. So they will
Just bring a few twigs and a chicken with you. No, done.
Okay, so the guards and the miners will actually progress with the miners in the wagon, and the two guards are at the front of the wagon guiding the horse. So they'll bring what they need. So they'll bring things like their own food and rations, etc., and what they need. So they'll have their own pickaxes and buckets and axes to chop off braces, to chop wood for braces, etc. On the morning of departure, then, Tenariel, did you say that you were putting? Is there anything else that you wanted to buy before we set off?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. So on the morning that you leave, Rurik, you can cast your spell if you wish.
Cast my spell.
Yeah, so I presume this from your spell bank for that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay then, cool. Okay, you actually just roll a perception roll. Okay, it's really interesting because as you're sort of like moving around the inn and finishing off breakfast and moving out, ready to venture off onto your travels to Wittecombe Mine, you notice that the captain of the guard does have some magic on him, and it's very strange where it is. You actually see it glowing. And he actually seems to have some kind of spell over his face.
Can I know the school of magic?
No. It tells you that you will see a faint aura and it bears magic. And you learn, you do not recognize the school of magic at all. You've never encountered it before at all. It's nothing that you're familiar with.
Point him. He's a witch. He's a witch.
And it's quite interesting actually, because it's sort of like it's quite an ingenious spell, because even as he turns his head, the magic almost like re-alters itself. So it's constantly sort of like covering his face. So you actually,
it's like it's changing what you see.
it's more that it's a bit like, like one of those plastic masks that, like, you know, like those white masks that people
Yeah.
put over the face. It's almost like that.
Jason?
Yeah, so it's almost like over it. That's almost like giving a different facial, a bit like as if he's in disguise, but he's in disguise via magic. You also do notice on his body that he has a magical dagger that he's actually having on his right hand side. Behind his midpoint. So I'll just bring him up so you can see where I mean. I'll just pop him on. So this is him. So normally the dagger would be sort of like here. Can you see that? But it's actually sheathed there, and it's actually sheathed on an angle, so he can reach behind, hold the hilt, and draw it out. And of course, because you can, it's a bit like if you're drawing a weapon from your back, you're almost like limited to the length of your arm, because past that point you can't pull it out. So he would actually pull his arm out to the side, and the dagger would be drawn by then and out of its scabbard. You know, so.
But is it concealed or?
Well, you've
Under his cloak.
Yeah, you've never seen it, but it's definitely magical, and you think it's. I'll give you it. It's pretty magical. You know, it's glowing more than his face. So you think it's definitely a very powerful magical dagger. You know, it could, in a sense of pluses, it could be like, if you want to think of it like that, it could be a +4, it could be a +5 magical dagger. It could be something that doesn't actually, it might not actually be a plus. It might be...
It might be a magic with a name.
Yes. It could be an intelligent sword, a dagger, sorry. It could be a dagger of true seeking, i.e. if he chucked it, it would almost like be a homing missile, and it would automatically hit the person no matter what. But that's apart from that, he's got no other magic radiating from him at all.
I move, but first I speak. I say, before we go, I need to go pee. And I bump into a rebel. And I say, sorry, I need to go.
Okay.
And then I go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Is it outside or?
It's a pot upstairs. You can go outside in the bushes if you wish.
Have they not got an old Jake in the backyard?
You can
I go upstairs.
Yeah, cool. Are you going with him?
Was that an indication that I should follow him? Because all he said was sorry when he bumped into me.
I don't know. I thought it was something that you had talked about beforehand, so you were sort of like, it was a secret code or something that I wasn't aware of.
Not that I was aware of. It would be suspicious. I almost want to roll like a wisdom check to see if I could
Go for it, then.
figure out what he's trying to do.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm thinking not.
No, you just sort of think... You just sort of like, you turn to Tenariel and say, he's just gone to the toilet, won't be long.
Yeah.
Just staring at your timepiece, Scott. Taking a while.
Everybody looks at Bazooka and say, do you need to go before we set off? You know what you're...
Funny you mentioned that.
You know what you know what you're like. 5 minutes down the dusty track, and you're desperate to go, aren't you?
We're not going to turn the adventure around, so you can go to the toilet.
Yeah.
We're not going to wait so you can go wee in the woods.
Yeah. You know what happened with those stinging nettles last time? There'll be no
It's
sympathy.
okay, because usually I just use Julie.
Don't shout, are we there yet? Every time we reach the corner of the road.
Normally I use Julie's journal.
Okay, so Rorik comes back from doing his business, and you get together and you head off along the road. That it's almost like a track. And over the years, I mean, it's almost like being encroached with grass and shrubs, etc. But you notice that there's still, anybody with tracking experience or survival experience can see that there's still actually quite a dip in the road, because a lot of heavy carts came along this pathway for a huge amount of time. And it seems to be quite straight, but now and again it veers off round trees, etc. So rather than chopping down the trees, they've actually moved the track around trees. The first 2 nights away from Clarion are completely uneventful, and you probably take up Elven Watch. So the guards and the miners can get a full night's sleep, and the rest of you can sleep, and the elves will meditate. And it's
I'd
quite...
probably ask Burrick about it that first evening when we stopped.
Yeah,
Just
cool.
what he learned.
Is the captain that's there?
No, the captain's not with you. There's just the people in the cart are with you. So you've got 2 miners. Those are the ones that are carrying a log over their shoulders, and then you've got 2 guardsmen with you, and they're
both called Morris, by the way.
Yeah, they're not Thorndyke guards. They are Clarion guards. Yeah.
Can we go talk somewhere more private?
Yeah. So you can nip off. There's quite a few trees and bushes around. So the rest of you notice that Rurik and Ervol goes nipping off into the into behind a tree. Maybe just
we're gonna go for a quick patrol before everybody goes to rest to make sure the area is safe.
Yeah.
I say to Julius, I'm so glad Rurik's actually found someone now.
Yeah, and it's so funny because they go off for patrol, and Ervol just sort of like gracefully glides across the grass line, and Rurik sort of like just like goes stomp next to him, and sort of like that as he goes around. So yeah, Rurik, go for it.
I turned to Bazooka. As like, is my helmet a bit wet?
The captain has some kind of illusion that's changing his appearance. So he's not the captain, he's someone else in disguise, I think.
He's not the captain, or he's got a mask to cloak whatever it is that's affecting him.
I'm not sure. I didn't know exactly what kind of spell it was.
Okay.
Even so, it's something extremely powerful.
All right. Well, he's not going anywhere. He's still invested in helping the village. We just wanted to know before we left, so we had time to plan our next
And
steps.
I don't know if you notice, because you're extremely well able with your eyes, but he concealed a magical dagger in his back. And this dagger is way out of our reach.
It's a powerful dagger.
With no doubt, the dagger has a name. So powerful it is.
Where was he hiding it?
In his back, he could reach it with his right arm.
So still on his belt, within reach, but he doesn't want anybody to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. We'll have to ponder on that for a while.
Do you find it strange that Julius is sick? Is he not a paladin?
You think he's not a paladin?
Maybe.
Now that you notice, he has a bit of whiskers growing from his chin. Okay, guys, I'm just going to describe the next bit, because I'm going to put you onto a map, and then once we do that, I suggest we take our first break, because it's coming up to 10 o'clock. So I just need to put you guys on the map, and then when I put you on, I'm assuming that you are nowhere special. Apart from that, you're just somewhere on the map when you actually arrive. So you actually, I'm going to move you across in a second. You actually come round a huge arc in the road, and because obviously being a mine track, they can't do tight corners, so everything with the heavy carts are one huge arc. So imagine that you've come around a huge arc like that, and as you come out of the arc, you see this scene. Now, I'm just going to describe it to you so you can get a true indication about what is actually happening. So the trees are trees, exactly how they look. Okay, the bit in the middle, okay, is an overturned wagon. It looks like it's been there for quite a while. It looks like it's got barrels that have tipped out. It looks like it's probably come from... Can you remember when you went off and rescued some farmers? That it's probably something like cider that might be in it, or some kind of alcohol. There also seems to be a dead horse here. That looks like it's had its side ripped open. You're not too sure why or how, but some of you might have appropriate roles to ascertain what's going on there. This here is a dog that seems to be dead from where you are. This seems to be a farmer, and he appears to have his gutted is probably the best word. Not that he is gutted, but he has been gutted. There's also, at the limit of your vision here, another dead body that is almost like seems to be inside of a bit of a bush, as if... The best way to describe it, you know, if there was something under a bush and you were crawling in to look at it and then got stabbed there, it looks like that. So it looks like he was crawling into the bush but then died. And this guy here, the guy right in the middle, can you see him? Mm-hmm. He's sort of like crouched over, and he's rummaging through the sort of like the wagon. The wagon's tipped over, and he's sort of like crouched, bent over, and is rummaging through it. And you can almost like, you can hear him sort of like going... like that, and he appears to be muttering for himself. Just so you know, the miners, let me just send this to the back so I could put my miners. The miners are in the cart. The guards are at either side of the horse on this side. And just before we go for our break, the last thing that I will mention is that the guards look ahead and says, that looks like Farmer Bert's wagon. And that's the last thing they say at that point. I'm quite happy for you to put yourselves in any marching order that you were in, but nothing above. Can you see that line that I've pinged?
Yep.
Nothing above that. Okay. Oh, if you want me to put the wagon in the middle, I'm quite happy for the wagon to be. Would you prefer the wagon to be in the middle, down the middle line? Would you prefer to be there so you can go on either side of the wagon?
To be honest, I was going to be probably
it looks like we can either
behind
way.
Everybody.
So, what do you want him in the middle or not? I'm quite happy for him to be in the middle.
In fairness, if we seen this from a distance, we'd probably get the cart to move over to the side of the road anyway.
That's absolutely fine. Okay then, so we will leave it there and we'll have our first break of the evening. It's 22:07, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. So if you're watching the stream, then please make sure that you go off and stretch your legs and grab yourself a drink and do anything that you need to have done. And please remember, if you do need to go to the bathroom, then please do not use Julius's helmet. Okay, and we will see you in 10 minutes. Okay, please don't go away. Catch you later. Boom! We are back. We are back. Excellent. Welcome, one and all. Let me just get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. And we are back. Welcome back. And we are about to engage in the wonderful wagon encounter. Wagon encounter. So we're just comparing where Whiskey River is comparing to my friends in Michigan. Cool. 3 hours west. Okay. And I've also come to the conclusion that wearing a giraffe onesie to play D&D in a light is not the best for heat transfer.
Certainly not during the summer.
At all. I just give up. Plenty of water. And I found some... I can only eat half a pizza for tea. So I ate half of it now, and I'm eating this half now. So that's nice. So, right, guys. What would you like to do?
Join you eating a pizza.
Do you want some?
I would love some. Can you fax one to me?
I'm actually going to sprint behind this tree, start trying to do a perimeter check.
Cool.
As stealthy as I can, moving around this way. Try to sneak up towards this tree.
Just 1 second. What we'll do is that we'll see what everybody's going to do.
That's why I didn't go much further.
Yeah. And then
that was just the first step.
Charge.
I don't think you will like this pizza, Flat.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's food.
It's just got mushrooms on it.
The mushrooms. Does it have any cheese on it?
You don't want cheese when you're sick.
I can always have cheese.
Makes you phlegmy.
Okay. So, Erval's going to make a perimeter search.
Oops. Yeah, cool. I'm going to move up here.
You're going to move up there and do anything in particular.
So as I'm moving towards the guy going through the wagon, I'm going to have a quick look down at the guy that's being eviscerated or whatever, guts going out. I just want to see if whatever does the guy that's going through the wagon, can I see any weapons on him?
I'd roll a perception. Roll 2 perception checks. 1 for the guy on the floor and 1 for the weapon guy. Okay. Tenariel, Rurik, and Bazooka, is there anything that you guys would like to do?
I'm assuming our rucksacks will be in the wagon, so I don't have to drop it.
Yeah, correct.
Ready my shield, and I approach to where our horse is, level with our horse.
Cool.
Where I am now.
Bazooka, Bazooka, you dashing up to there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm moving up.
Okay, and are you...
Hands ready on my scimitars. Sorry.
You can draw them both at the same time now.
I know.
So exciting.
Oh, sorry.
I've been doing that anyway.
But you ran out of spell range, so I can't give you extra hit points.
Roll 20, this crashed for me.
So start the whole adventure again. Level 1.
Yeah.
No, I'm back again. You were never level 1, Julius.
The save game's corrupt.
You were never level 1 at all, weren't you? Okay, so you're going. Are you doing anything once you get there, Bazooka? That's what I wanted to know.
I'm just keeping an eye on like the surroundings and the dude that's going through the thing.
Cool. Okay then. And Rurik, what would you like to do?
I would like to throw a firebolt here to get the guy attention.
Go for it.
Are you going to juggle it?
I just need to know. Just link the cantrip to it because I just need to see what exactly it does.
The range?
No, the range comes up on it. I want to see exactly what it does. Okay, then. So 9 is not going to hit your place, isn't it?
Oh, it's hit me, isn't it?
Long chance again.
Everything's gonna blow up.
So I think you were aiming for here, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was that where you were aiming for?
Yeah.
Okay then. So and what level are you doing it as?
It's a level 0.
Yeah, but you're not increasing it at all.
No.
No. Okay then. Oh no, only when you're level 5 you can increase it. Okay then. So yeah, so the okay then. So I'll pick it up from there. So Alval, you are creeping round. You get to about here. Can you roll your creeping skill, please? I've got 6 and 11 from your perception, Julius. Two things that you notice: the guy rummaging through the wagon is unarmed. He doesn't seem to have anything, and the guy lying down at your feet, and you could probably just see it a little bit from the picture. He seems to have a whole lot of spines jutting out from his body. Can you see it? They probably look like arrows, but they're actually spines. And they're sort of like all down one side of his
zoom in.
body. You can just see it a little bit. It's not completely obvious, but can you see it if you zoom in just at the top?
Oh yeah,
Just there.
That's cool.
Yeah. And this guy in the back is still sort of like going. I don't know. Also, then there's from behind you. There's a burst of fire that almost like comes from behind you and sort of like lands sort of like here, and there's sort of like a ball of fire that suddenly comes there, and it just sort of like lands. It sort of like appears and then sort of goes on the floor. A lot of the grass tends to singe and start to burn, but it quickly goes out and it doesn't set fire to anything. But this guy's feet here gets singed slightly, and this guy suddenly he doesn't get bigger, so he just suddenly goes, it catches his attention, and he looks round, and then he suddenly looks around and sees all you guys, and you, before your very eyes, Julius and Bazooka, he changes somewhat.
Uh-oh.
And instead of, he almost like, he sort of like, he seems to be quite humanoid, but then all of a sudden you notice that like spikes and twigs grow from him, and they jut out of his ears and out of his eyes, and you notice that his arms sort of like become twisted and gnarled like trees, and he almost like turns into as almost like semi-tree person. He's still humanoid in every aspect, but he can walk. He's not so like, oh, I'm a tree. But he's definitely got leaves growing out of places. And you see his skin is now no longer skin. It's actually bark. And you sort of like see it sort of like slowly increase up his face. And you see an odd squirrel just sort of like run around his neck and off to the side. Okay, then let's wait, because I need to clear your... can everybody roll some initiative for me, please?
So does he look like an ent?
He's not a huge tree. He looks like a human that appears to be turning into a tree.
Okay. And when he says he sees everybody, does that mean that my stealth check failed?
No, he only sees Julius and Bazooka, the two people before him. So
Okay.
this is his attack. Here. Are we all on?
I believe so.
Cool. Okay, so one, two, yeah, there you go. So, Eravol, you are up.
I'm assuming this tree here is one that I can stand underneath. It doesn't actually.
Yeah, it seems
movement.
it's rather than a tree, it seems to be like a clump of bushes. So there's sort of like three trunks there that sort of like grow together to make a sort of like a low shrub. You can take cover behind it or hide in it still. It's just not a tall tree.
All right, so I'm not walking directly underneath it, but I will slink up here along the edge of it.
Cool.
And have an action ready with my bow. If he is aggressive at all, I'll be firing on him.
Yeah, excellent. Tenariel, you are up.
We can't hear you.
You're muted, Tenariel.
Sorry, I forgot. I'll move to where I've just moved to, so I'm now in range of Araval, Bazooka, and Julius, and cast Aid upon them.
Cool.
Which gives them 5 hit points extra.
So those are your temporary hit points going on again, guys.
Sweet.
Okay, Bazooka, you are up.
I'm gonna draw my scimitars and stand around. Yeah. Ooh, these so bad.
Are you so you're readying that action, so if he does something nasty to you, you're going to retaliate, is that the idea?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, and Julius, you are up.
I'm going to move next to, slightly in front of Bazooka.
Oh, look at you! You're both there with hearts now.
Yeah.
That looks so romantic, guys. That looks lovely.
Give me a cuddle.
I turn round and look straight into his eyes.
You have to look. That's my crotch you're looking at.
Oh, sorry. I just thought they were googly eyes.
I'm going to get my sword and shield out and prepare myself. In fact, yeah, I'm going to prepare myself. If he attacks, I'll give it a whack.
Okay, cool. Rurik, you're up.
Prepare ourselves, folks.
You're muted.
I will ready a firebolt if he's get closer to Julius and Bazooka.
Cool.
Be prepared.
Let me just do that. Okay, so on 3, just to let you know, then that then happens. So this sort of like creature starts to move towards Bazooka and Julius. So I need you. You've all sort of like got actions readied. So we'll probably go down in the initiative order as it goes down. So Araval, yours will go off first because you were first on the initiative. So fire away. Yeah, that hits. Nine points. Cool. Okay, so Bazooka and Julius, also you see this arrow come whizzing past Bazooka's head, and it hits this staggering human right in the shoulder, and he sort of like goes like that, and he's knocked back a bit, but then carries on coming towards you. So, Bazooka, you will be fighting next.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on up to his flank.
Yeah, cool.
And with an almighty swing of my brand new scimitar,
Scimitars.
I try and debark him.
21 hits.
And that is 8 points of damage.
8 points damage, cool.
And with my next swing,
15 hits.
cool. I deal 6 points of damage.
Cool.
And
Okay.
get a splinter at the same time.
Yeah, no, he hasn't fought back yet. And Julius, you are up next.
I see the arrow that Ereval dug into him. A little piece of paper unravel on the end, and it just said "surprise" on it.
Or beg.
Excellent.
Boom.
I will also start attacking him.
Cool.
Pink. 9.
So he's had an arrow hit. He's had 2 scimitars sliced across his open chest of the bark. You try to ram your sword into him, but it just so like you get it in one of those awkward little crevices, you know, and you just sort of like miss him altogether, and he just sort of like slides between his bark and his hand, and he sort of like grimaces at you, and he opens his mouth, and you see his mouth is made up of thorns, you know, and it's like goes like that at you.
I do always aim for the crevice.
Okay, yes. This is Firebolt coming off next.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you? Are you going to move before? Oh no, you can't move. It is a delayed action, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does the spell say? Let's see what the spell, because you're required to hit roll, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of a sudden you launch this firebolt, and Julius, you all of a sudden like feel this this bolt of fire actually hurl over your head and actually hit this person straight on the head. It was very close to your head. This bolt of fire as it came across. Just to let you know, Warwick, you needed 14 to hit, and so it actually does hit it. I need some damage before I start setting him on fire, just so I could do
4 fire damage.
Right, brilliant, thank you.
I kind of turn around and say, "Do you mind?"
You're in the way.
Okay, and it lands on him, and now he's actually his head is actually burning on fire. So he's almost like a human torch now. Just out of interest, at the same time as this happens, Ereval, you suddenly feel something on your legs, and you see vines from the nearby tree have started to attach onto you.
Are you going to deck save? Or am I just stuck?
They're started to attach you. They will start to grow around you next round, but you see them coming out, so you feel them slither across you. So next round you'll be able to get a dex save to get out of the way of them. The reason you didn't get it this round is that you were busy in combat with the thing in front of you. And Rurik, you also notice down here similar vines have started to creep out of this bush towards you, and you can also see, Rurik, from where you are, that there are similar vines, because Tenariel is busy facing the other way, but you can actually see them. Similar vines starting to head out towards Tenariel at the back. Very similar to the ones up at the top. So this guy here, you can probably see now that he's not actually underneath the bush as you originally thought. From your distance now, you can see that he was actually probably dead, and these vines have encroached over the top of him. So we will have, let me just call this up. Come on. It doesn't want. Why does not want to come up? Okay, I'll do it a different way. Okay, so we are down to right. So that's we're down to you, Ereval. What would you like to do?
Make a dex check to make sure I don't get entangled.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Dex save for these are 12.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm okay.
So that's cool. So you suddenly take a step back, or you can move forward if you wish, or whatever. So you're not actually attached in them.
And get away from that bush. Come up.
Cool.
I also want to approach this other guy. Now that I know he's affected by that, we're able to make a perception check or something to determine if he has actually been killed by the vines.
You probably think that he was dead beforehand.
Okay.
And then these things have probably gone over the top of him.
Okay.
And killed him, rather than them being. He hasn't been killed by these. He's probably been. He was dead, and then they've encroached over the top of him.
Okay.
Right,
So does the detect count as an action, or is it part of my move?
That's an action. So you've
right.
you've still got an action left, because your perception. You don't need to look in depth to sort of like look at this as you come across. You can see that it's quite clear now that the vines are over the top of him.
But I still have an action on top of the dex check and the movement.
Yeah, because you have a movement with one action that you can use, and then an additional action. So your movement and your action was your dex check and you moving to here. So you still have one action left.
All right, I'm going to get away from the bush, turn and fire another arrow at him.
Cool. Sorry, I'm missing a character sheet that I couldn't find, but now I've got up. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, 19 does in fact hit quite nicely.
Okay. I figured I just want to wait in case he had cover or whatever your rules were for being a melee.
+9. So yeah, so that hits him again, and sort of like, so Bazooka, you see coming into the side another arrow that's going into him. So Tenariel, you're up next.
Not much I can do. I'm going to head towards this chap over here and check to see that he is actually dead.
Okay. Yeah, he's quite rotten and decaying.
All right. That'll be it.
Cool. Bazooka, what would you like to do?
Okay, so as the first fireball hit him, that kind of took me by surprise. So I've jumped back a little bit, but I'm gonna go around the back of him. So I'm gonna flank around the back and take a swing, see if we can get his distraction.
Yeah, do you want his distraction away from Julius? Is that what you're aiming for? Cool. Okay, then. Roll your hit.
Does it get an opportunity attack when he moves?
Only if he goes out of the attack area.
Right. Sorry, say that again. Shouting in my ear.
Just roll your to hit.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a miss.
Next one.
That's actually on a 12. That's a hit.
Okay, cool. So 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Okay, so this guy now, as combat progresses, is like this. Okay, in that sense. So Julius, you're up.
Yeah. I take another swing. Just as I do, I say, does anybody not stay what they are anymore? Both.
Was that
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So you whack your sword into him, and all of a sudden you just go chunk into the bark, and it seems to be wedged in the bark of this tree guy. So you'll need to make a strength change check next round to pull it out. Okay. Rurik, you're up. This guy is on fire, by the way. Are you muted again?
Yeah.
Because I'm not hearing anything.
He's got the camera covered too.
I think he's gone off somewhere.
Okay.
His camera's pointing
Well,
somewhere.
what I'll do is that I'll just do the burning damage. Can somebody roll a 1d6 for me, please?
Yeah, sure. There we go.
Thank you. Excellent. And
He's back.
is he back?
Sorry about that.
No, we've just done the burning damage. So is there anything else you want to do?
I would like to make a burning end and set the tree next to me on fire.
This one. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, he really loves his fire.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
We have to have a conversation
Is
about
it-
it later.
One chance, long change
That's
set
nice.
in the group.
Yeah.
again.
You,
At least he hits with his flames.
it's a is it a 15-foot cone?
Yeah.
And does it have a? It's from your hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the only thing I was thinking, from your hands, 15 foot is there. Sorry, I'm on me. Is there? So I'm just wondering if you want to sort of like use your action to step a bit closer, and then
Yeah.
it'll get the. I mean, even if you step to here, then
Yeah.
then you'll get a good amount of it on fire rather than just the tip of it.
But if I get close to there, can I set the vine also on fire?
Well, I was just thinking, rather than firing horizontally, you can actually fire it almost like down, so it'll hit the vines and the grass and the roots of the trees as well. I'm just thinking from where you are now, 15 foot, because it comes from you. 50, yeah. So that's better, because now you're sort of like doing right the way up to about there, aren't you? So you're doing sort of like up to here. So this is a lot more of the actual bush on fire. Okay,
And
yeah.
I'll set as a bonus action. I'll send my familiar in this pocket dimension.
Okay, so let's just move him off the board for the time being. Is that six points of damage to this?
Yeah.
Right, because
The tree need to make a dex save.
no, they can't actually make a dex save. How many points is it? 6 altogether. Okay then. So that's that gone. And that's that gone. Okay, this guy in the middle looks like he's on fire, and he's sort of like writhing around like anything, and he sort of like swings his claws. Well, they're sort of like claws because they're sort of like hands that are turned into twigs. So this you were successful. Bazooka's grabbing its attention because it's going to swing at you. So I just need to know 16. I don't know what your arm class is. Is your arm class 17?
Yes, sir.
And 6, so they miss you. So luckily you feel it just like scrape across your new armor, or on the second one you dodge with you actually parry your scimitars across it using your new dual wield feat, and sort of like block it and sort of like knock it over to one side. This thing looks like it's hanging on with its last breath at the present moment in time. Aerval, you are up.
Just out of curiosity, were the guards instructed to guard the horse, the wagon?
Yeah, they will always. Their normal action is to guard the horse and the miners. So unless you tell them anything differently, that will be their job. So, for example, if something came out of this bush, they would naturally attack it. Okay, right. No, this bush is now on fire. Care of Rurik. Okay, so Aerval, you are up.
I'm going to do something silly.
Uh-oh.
Set things on fire.
I was actually going to jump up over here on the edge of the cart.
Okay.
The keeps walking around to stand in front of me.
Right. So, and that's your acrobatics check. So you notice that Aerval, Julius, you see this. Bazooka, you don't. Yeah, Aerval comes leaping across here and sort of like nimbly jumps up, puts 1 foot on the barrel and 1 foot on the cart, and sort of like 10 is an average DC, isn't it? So is this
it wouldn't be anything spectacular.
Is this an average?
Such a wannabe.
Okay, so you sort of like run up and you sort of like put 1 foot on the barrel that you notice moves slightly as you get up, but you manage to stagger your way. Do you actually want to get onto the cart?
Yes. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if that DC would get me there.
Yeah, and you sort of like fumble a bit. Are you firing now?
Yes.
Yeah, so you sort of like put 1 foot on the barrel and it moves your feet and you manage to get one on the cart and you loose your arrow. Go for it.
Sorry about that.
And you kill the dog. And your arrow just flies sort of like straight past the monster, past the tree person. So you're obviously off balance as you loosen it, but you manage to actually stay on the wagon. Tenariel,
better than nothing.
Julius, you sort of like see this arrow shoot past you. You think
I'm just seeing total warfare, like everything just flying over my head.
Yeah. So far you've been nearly hit by an arrow, nearly hit by a firebolt, nearly hit by another arrow. So you're doing well at the moment. Tenariel, you're up.
Yeah, I'm going to close behind the guy and bash him with my mace.
Go for it. Yeah,
16
certainly hits.
For 4 bludgeoning damage.
And that actually all of a sudden this guy then just collapses. Sorry, I won't do that on him.
I hit him with a big red axe.
He's just his little boxes over there. Look, he's sort of like you just whack him, and you just notice that you just sort of like snap. There's sort of like the head, which could be caught from the top end of the trunk, and the beast just sort of like falls to the ground. Julius, just make a strength check, please. You need to get 12 or above. Oh yeah, and as he falls, you manage to yank your sword out so he doesn't take it down with him. You also notice that when he falls, he's started to, because his head's on fire, he lands sort of like here, and this barrel sort of like starts to set alight. This down here is very much aflame now. Rurik's just looking at it like this.
No, it was done.
I'm a dwarf, so I probably know that. How strong is their cider they make in Valerian?
It depends how ripe the apples are and how long it's actually been in the barrels. You can't imagine that these have been in the barrels that much because they're coming from the farms to Clarion to be sold. So they normally barrel it up and then bring it straight away, and then it normally ferments in Clarion. So it's probably not that strong at all at the present moment in time.
I tried to push the barrel away from all the others to about here, like so it's not in the way of everyone.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do anything, like explode.
No, you can see it burns through the wood, then all of a sudden the fire goes out as the cider starts to seep out. Can I just remind you that there was 2 other bushes. This bush tried to attack you, Ervol, and this bush here up at the top obviously has some kind of vines that attacked this dead man. So I don't know whether or not you will wish to do anything with any of those.
Maintain a distance at the very least. I'm sure the dwarf will dispatch them in the manner that he did the first one.
Are you firebolting them?
Yeah, I'm firebolting.
Yeah. So just make your to hit roll, because that's what you need to do in order to make sure that they hit. We don't want. They're not going to miss something completely, but I just. That's it, and then you'll need to move up to the top somewhere. Yeah. So this is you're quite warm now, because there's sort of like 3 bushes flaming around with huge flames going up into the sky, and every now and then you sort of like hear a sound like. As if you're sort of like burning something that was once alive or was alive, some kind of nature. If anybody who has nature rolls, who knows nature rolls. Hang on, right. So what you need to whoever's the first person who rolls it, the one person who rolls it gets the advantage. Okay, so if there's somebody who can roll it better, what you need to do is you need to decide who's going to roll it to give the other people advantage. So, Cryptex, Ervol knows that these were probably once living trees or bushes that have almost like been corrupted in some way, almost like a blight has been infected in them, and so they were once quite normal everyday bushes and trees, but there's obviously been some kind of blight or disease or corruption that has turned them into something quite unnatural.
Keep guarding on top of this cart and say, stay alert. We're dealing with some type of corruption of nature yet again.
Yeah.
This man's skin, I had magic that would do the same thing to me. It's a druid spell.
Yeah.
Bark skin.
It's very similar to your bark skin spell. Very similar. The only thing is, Make another nature roll for this, because you're not doing the same thing as Aerval. You're doing something else now.
With the sound that they were making when they were dying, I thought the Germans were coming again.
No, that's just because all my noises are exactly the same. What you notice, Tenariel, that this was all with this humanoid. It was almost like the other way. He was almost like a tree person that put on human form or human skin. And it was when he turned back into his true form that the bark skin almost like erupted through his skin to take on his true form. So he's definitely some kind of tree being or bush being. He's definitely not a druid. You do notice that there's cider in there. This guy here seems to have a pouch on that has 7 copper pieces in. And this guy over here also has a pouch on that has 3 copper pieces in. The horse is well and truly dead. He does have on its harness, it has a little sign, a little plaque almost on the front, and it just says Rosie over it. So you figured that was probably its name. The dog again is completely and utterly dead and looks like it has been for some time.
It's kind of rusty, Rosie.
Yeah. So these 3 trees are now well ablaze, and there's sort of like smoke going up into the sky.
Do they have spades in the cart?
There's just barrels of cider. That's all that's in there. They seem to be taking the cider to market. We'll be going to market with this.
Should we put the corpses in the trees that are on fire? Cremate them?
I was going to suggest burying the farmer. Perhaps we can pick his body up and take it to town. I'm sure the miners will have one.
The miner.
They confirm that they know the farmer. The guard mentioned that he looked familiar when we first got here.
Yeah. Do you want them to come closer and have a good look?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah. So the guard, one of the guards comes close and confirms that this guy here is Farmer Bert, and this person over here is his teenage son called Mike. And they live in a farm. It's about a day's travel from here, but this would be their normal route to get to town.
Did they have any other family? Any other living relatives?
They have. Bert has a wife who would be, if you remember what normally happens from your attack of the assassins, if you remember that adventure, the farmer wife tends to stay there when they come into town, so they will be back at the she will be back at the farmer's house awaiting. Well,
how far out of the way would it be to return the bodies to the farm?
It's going to be a couple of to get there and back here.
Yes.
How long would you say they've been dead?
Well, they've actually been dead. You would have thought a good day, maybe 2. So, okay. So you probably think the farm's about 2 days from this point. So it'll take you 2 days to get there and then 2 days to get back. So 4 days all in all.
Does the big wagon look as though it's still roadworthy if we get it back on its wheels?
It looks like the rear axle has been snapped. It's almost as if it went over something and something grabbed it and pulled it and snapped it.
We should bury them now and collect the bodies when we return this way.
I agree with that as well.
Do I know, with medicine, do I know a way to preserve bodies?
It won't matter. We're only going to be a few days.
As well as everything else, the sorcerer wants to be an ancient Egyptian as well. Yes, you have some canopic jars, and you can actually mummify them in your... No.
Instead of burying
I
them,
bought
could
a
we...
healing kit.
No embalming, no pickling.
Can we store them in the cart and prop the barrels up against the open end?
Is that to me or to Tenariel?
I guess there's a question for everyone. Because we'd be losing quite a bit of time digging holes for them that we're just going to pull them out of again when we come back.
The easiest way is to burn them and collect the ashes.
Well, Warwick quite likes this idea of burning them. He keeps going back to this. Well, we could just burn them. We could just...
I believe the customer's burial in this area.
But do we want to bury them if we're...
Rather than cremate them without the family's permission, it should be the family's choice, the final.
Warwick keeps looking over to the
put them in the wagon.
Warwick looks over to the burning tree and says, "We could burn them."
Let's put them in the wagon then.
We can cover them up in the wagon.
Yeah,
They'll be protected until we return and hopefully get them back to their family.
Maybe if you, Warwick, you could, if you douse them with cider, because if it's quite vinegary, that might aid the pickling process. It might. You could do that if you.
But wouldn't the corpse absorb all the cider and become gorging?
Well,
engorge.
Are we in a society that has knowledge of corpse preservation?
Probably not.
I was just thinking it might make them smell of cider.
No, but like
you don't know.
When people die under the sea, the corpse start to absorb all the water.
Yeah.
You might have the local alcoholic try to lick them. Just saying.
He is the local alcoholic.
So what are we doing with the bodies? Are we piling them up?
Put them in the wagon.
Yes.
What about the dog?
Yeah, bring it with.
Bring it with, or should you be with
dead?
the other two bodies?
Yeah, with the bodies.
I just had pictures of a picture there, an image of Julius with a collar around the dead dog. This sort of like
pulling the dead dog
just like
come on, Rover.
And I know Ereval and Tenariel, you're very close to horses. Is there anything? Is there anything?
Saddle it and try riding it.
Is there anything you would like to? Rurik, you figured that horses are very good for making glue.
We can
make glue and
can I
stick
take
their
the
face
flag
together.
of the horse?
Yeah.
We could make horse bratwurst. Just, oh, you never tried it? By the way, it's great.
I haven't, no.
Well, the horse is not going to be going anywhere. Even with all of us, we're not moving that horse.
Are you going to cremate the horse?
No, we'll leave it to feed the wildlife.
Feed the
I
wildlife.
might draw them in if anything that feeds on that horse is going to be drawn to the other corpses.
Oh, we're taking the other corpses.
No, we're stashing them in the cart because that would be too far out of our way. We're going to return to them and pick them up on the way home.
Cremating a dog and 2 human is wrong, but ours, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I didn't say we should cremate the horse. I said we should bury it or do something that isn't going to draw wild animals to it and risk eating the other corpses.
Fancy the white meat.
Well, perhaps we should burn the horse then.
Oh, where it goes again.
It's like,
do you want to burn the horse?
That's acceptable. We don't have time to dig a grave for it.
Rurik?
Something needs to be done with its remains.
Are you providing the...
Julius will need to move the body away
world.
from the cart so it doesn't set the cart on fire.
All right, yeah.
Take all the what do you call it? The harness and stuff off the horse if we can, because it'll be expensive. The farmer's wife won't.
Yeah, cool.
It's an expensive loss to.
Whereabouts would you like the horse to be put for burning?
Just put it over here.
And just for my notes, whoever it was that looted the corpses, did they make it open that there was 10 copper pieces on them?
Yeah,
10.
Yeah.
Are we aware of that?
Yeah, everybody.
Because if we are, then
to the family.
Araval would point out that any possessions they had should be returned as well.
I set the yours on fire.
There's 10 and 3. Yeah.
Does he set on fire, or do I need to put stuff?
You'll need to put some oil on it.
Yeah. And then probably maybe open its mouth a bit and send your firebolt down so it gets to the crispy bits, burn it inside out. So cool.
You can just imagine as he does it, the horse corpse farts and there's just soot out the back of it.
Well, actually, once you do it, the horse suddenly gets up as if it's been sleeping and there's no. There you go. There you go, Warwick. So everybody can smell the smell of burning horse as it sort of disseminates around. So you think together you think this corruption is really strange, and Araval and Tenariel, being of woodland folk, you've never seen anything like this before. It's as if some evil is taking over the forest.
Is it in any way similar to the mansion glade area, the corruption that was there?
Well,
does this feel like a less evolved form of that?
It's
even a more evolved form.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the area around Betic Manor. It's more. This is more around Betic Manor. It was destroy everything, as if the life was being removed from things. This is more that they want to preserve the life, but corrupt it. So it's almost like they don't want to destroy the trees. They want to change the trees so they're working for somebody else. And it reminds you of the if you remember back to the books that you had.
Druids.
Yeah, it reminds you of that that aspect of Doom when they were talking about the druids taking over and corrupting nature. And this seems to be a small yet significant beginning. And you, Araval and Tenariel, you actually shudder, thinking. I mean, if this was cast on a forest or spread through a forest, the outcome would be devastating. Because it would actually trap animals, it would trap humans, and it would trap elves, it would trap everything. And it could quite easily just wipe out the whole forest in one fair swoop.
So still destructive, but only destructive to fauna, not the flora, leaving the flora intact.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like using it to their own advantage, which is what corrupted druids like to do. They don't destroy things. They almost say, right, okay, then let's keep this together. Let's use it to our own advantage. And then that would be it. Okay. So, anything else that you guys would like to do on this place?
Nope.
Pretty much it.
Resume our journey.
Okay.
I would like to give my fire protection potion to Julius.
Just in
And
case.
say, maybe you'll need those.
Maybe I should just keep on continuously swinging it when you're around.
Yeah, it might. I think I've got too many people here. Yeah, I don't want.
You have 5 use of the potion.
Right, okay. I'll put that on.
So
maybe in the future we not open with the firebolt. I mean, it definitely has its uses, but I wouldn't use it, to start a conversation, basically.
Yeah.
Tenariel,
what's it called?
I'm just trying to put you together to take you on to the next map, because I keep picking up vines. Right. So you carry on traveling for the next day and into the second day, and even as you carry on down the path, you eventually see the trees that were alight in the distance slowly filter out and become less of a beacon in the distance. And even as you travel closer and closer to the mine, you do notice every now and again out the corner of your eye that there seems to be these vines slowly moving from tree to tree, and almost like spreading and extending, but never coming near the path. And on the fifth day from Clarion, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you appear at what the miners call the entrance to the Wittecombe mine. So you can see yourselves down at the bottom there. So this area here seems to be a shaft going down. So this is all sort of like carved out, and then there seems to be a shaft that goes down that has all these sort of like wooden boards over it. They're overlapped and they're hammered in, and the whole area looks it doesn't look well used at all. Survival people, or tracking, survival, yeah. Decide who's going to roll it to get the advantage, because who else has survival?
I do.
Me, 6.
2 myself, so you're probably best to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we established is slightly better than mine. I'm a +4.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so roll me a survival. Brilliant, 21. So, yeah, you notice that there's been absolutely no disturbance around here at all. There's no footprints, there's no track marks, there's literally nothing. If anything, you're quite surprised that the shrubland hasn't actually encroached the path and covered it up, but it's quite established. These shrubs don't look like they don't have tendrils or vines sticking out of them or anything like that. And you can see the whole area is quite barren, and it definitely has not been touched for some time. Just round, you can see now, Tenariel, can you see round here? There seems to be old bits of mining paraphernalia, like cogs, broken pickaxes, the odd bucket. There's not a lot of them, but you can see that some of the metal has started to decay already, and they've just been left exactly where they were, as if somebody's just left and just dropped them. Tenariel, since you're a little bit closer, can you just make a perception roll for me, please?
Yeah.
What's the drop to where the barricade is, like below the ground? A big slope headed towards the center?
From here to here?
Where was this? I didn't. Yeah, from there to there. Yes.
Yeah, that's just like a pathway. It's not a drop or anything. It's just a normal pathway to the boards.
All right. The coloration on either side make it look like it kind of drops down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it doesn't drop down. It's just like a normal pathway to what appears to be a hull.
Okay.
10. I rolled a 10.
Yeah, you don't see anything. Sorry, I was checking for something.
Well, no one seems to have been here for some time.
Why is it that everywhere we go, we always seem to end up going underground?
I know. It's horrible.
Underground is good.
No, it's not.
It's because Rurik and Bazooka send me £10 every week and say, can we go underground? So, if you and Tenariel would like to sub together, £10 a going rate at the present moment in time. Look at Clout voting for himself. Are you voting for yourself, Clout?
No, I'm number 5.
Ooh.
Can I make a masonry check to see the craftsmanship of the walls?
Yes, by all means.
It's a wall.
Who's voting for themselves? Clout. That's okay. I'm going to vote for myself. In fact, I can't. I've got a edge of thingamabob and mabobbles.
Yeah, bits. They're near your head. They're near your head. Oh, that was just one who went in. Thank you for the bits, Cryptex. You think that they just it just looks like it's been hacked out of the surrounding side. This looks like it was almost like normal landscape with almost like a bit of protruding rock that might have been forced up during, plate tectonics or anything like that. It's not like in the side of the mountain or anything like that. It's just a lump of rock. And this area here, roundabout, literally looks like it's been hacked away. It doesn't look like they've been saying, oh, let's carve this really nicely. It's just like, oh, we need a bigger gap. Let's just hack it. And that's been it.
Well,
it doesn't look like they're trying to, let's say, make a well-made tunnel that won't collapse.
No, it doesn't look like that at all. It literally looks, like I said, that it looks like it's just been randomly hacked. And that's it. And then this seems to be some kind of hole that is all sort of like boarded up. It's not like a tunnel going down. It's literally something in the floor that's got all these bits of wood cascade put over the top of it.
I'm going to come up behind Rurik, put a hand on his shoulder, and I said, please limit the fire use while we're in the tunnel.
I won't be afraid of the fire. I will be more afraid that the tunnel collapse on us.
I was more concerned with the smoke and our ability to breathe while we're down there.
I was more I was just thinking about flammability
Of the stone?
Of any gases.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a bit of hydrogen down there, or methane, or something like that.
Can we smell anything in the air?
That's actually what your perception check was before. Now everybody's going to say, "Can I make a perception check to smell?"
Well,
can I make a constitution check while we're in there? So all my restoration for the old time.
No.
Divine. Can I do a divine sense?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can do a device sense. Go for it. Just put it in the chat. Yeah. It's always useful in the chat, and then people watching the stream can actually see it.
Yeah. There it is. It's just a copy pasta.
Did the miners bring the canaries?
No, they didn't bring any canaries.
There we go.
Okay, so tell me what you're doing, Julius, with your divine sense.
So divine sense works with it's just to see if there's any.
Yeah. So what are you doing? How does it manifest itself? Do you kneel down, or do you pray, or do you cast holy water about yourself, or what do you do?
I give a quick prayer to my goddess, Lady Anisha. And do a holy symbol as well, and then part of the same this what is it a scenario whatever it is, cover my eyes, and then that effectively enables it.
Oh, cool. Do you want to get? Are you doing it from where you are? Or are you getting closer to the actual?
I'm going to go a bit closer. Rurik is kind of there, but
Okay.
I'm going to get closer, and it's pretty much any entities, undead, celestial fiend within 60 feet. Also, if there's any like bad juju, then it will look like a vapor or evil vapor.
Yeah. So you cover up your eyes and you shift your senses, and you gaze around the place, and after a while it sort of like settles down, and everything just sort of like dissipates and disappears, and you suddenly see that there's no sense of evil around here at all. There's no celestial beings, no fiends, no undead, no nothing.
Good.
Can I make a perception check to determine how strong that barricade is, what it's going to take to remove it?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, it looks pretty strong, and it looks quite welded in place. It's been there for a long time, but you figured the miners can probably remove it with their picks, and and their equipment. They do have some dynamite, some primitive dynamite, if you wish them to use it.
And we were letting someone do some flame around this.
Well, it won't do much again with the metal welding. I think we'll. The area looks secure for here. We'll bring the miners up and let them make an assessment.
You can probably look down this if you can. You see the gaps?
Yes.
If you want to look down it, you probably can. Okay, so Airvola, as soon as you get close to it, you just hear a voice. It just sort of like bellows out. It says, "Warning! This is the Wittecombe mine. Stand back, please. Warning! This is the Wittecombe mine. Stand back, please. Warning! This is the Wittecombe mine. Stand back, please. Warning! This is the Wittecombe mine. Stand back, please. Warning! This is the Wittecombe mine. Stand back, please."
Where was the voice coming from?
Can we determine the source?
It was coming from. It looked like it was coming from the actual wood itself.
So it might be enchanted wood. Interesting.
Burn it.
Bazooka, can you just jump up and down on the wood?
You need something heavier in the middle, though. You're gonna have to get in the middle.
Don't worry, we'll throw you up a little bit.
You notice the miners and the guards are sniggering, and so you can hear them saying, "Who's back there?" Bazooka is. You can hear them saying, "Bazooka, oh, it was true then. We didn't know whether or not that was true, but obviously it's true. Yeah, obviously it is."
So obviously they know about it.
All right, let's get the expert's opinion assessment.
Yeah. So let's go back to the miners and the guys. Have a little chat.
They are ready. They are stood there.
Do you know what that was all about?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, rumours. Only rumours. It was rumoured that when they sealed the mine, the sorcerer put on an enchantment to warn people away.
Okay, cool. Is there any way would it do anything if we tried to take it down through these rumors?
Well, I'm a miner. I don't know much about things like that. Do you have a sorcerer with you?
We did.
What? We did. He's just gone offline.
Oh,
I think he wandered off into the woods. So somebody should check on him.
Right. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe you could. Could you dispel it?
Does anyone have a good Arcana check in the group apart from Clout, obviously?
WOOD. Spell it.
Nope.
Hang on. Sorry. The reason I'm just joining the chat. That's what I'm doing.
Whoa! So, Sprocket, Cryptex, do you have Arcana?
No.
In any way?
-1.
Yeah, same here. So we don't have
Oh,
any...
has it gone in the right box?
Yeah, he was the last one anyway, wasn't he?
Ah, yeah. Cool.
It probably helped that he'd already left once.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, have you got a cushion behind your head, Flat?
I do, it's good.
Oh,
Trying to be comfortable.
lovely.
Yeah, there's my travel pillow.
How sweet. He says, you could dispel it, or we could just bash it. Once we bashed it, it'll probably disappear.
Are you up for bashing it?
Well, he says we've got the miners have got some pickaxes if you want them to bash it to bits. I'm sure they can do it.
Cool.
Didn't you bring something else a little more explosive?
You want them? You want them to explode it?
We will leave it to your judgment. This is your area of expertise. We would like that entrance opened up.
Well, he says the miners have a look at it and they come back to you and say, right, you got two choices. We can either bash it open or we can blow it open.
Would blowing it cause any cave-ins or anything like that?
Probably good. What would you recommend?
He says, It's if it was me, I would blow it open because I'm less likely to build up a sweat. Blowing it open is just like, plunging something. Lighting something, letting it run down, boom, gone. He says, bashing it, take longer, and I'll build up a sweat. I'll be all sweaty. He looks at you, Tenariel, and says, I'll be rather sweaty near you, missus. Bit smelly.
Yeah.
Nowhere to have a shower. So... But, he says, we've only got 2 lots of gunpowder and stuff. So this will take 1 on this one.
What's the other miner doing? Is he seem agreeing?
Yeah, they're both the miners are talking to you together. They just happen to have the same voice. Oh. So you can't tell as they swap from one to the other.
Tell you one thing, when I'm around explosives, I sweat a bit as well.
He says, so let's blow it up, he says. Let's blow it up.
Cool.
Shall I blow it up? Shall we blow it up?
Let's blow it up.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so they spend some time dribbling gunpowder around it. Every now and again you hear, beware, this is the Wittecombe mine, please stand back. Now and again, but eventually they sort of like get all their gunpowder set, and they sort of like say to you might want to stand back. And they have a flint box, and they sort of like this, and they go tss, tss, and all of a sudden you hear da 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 as it goes tss, diddle, 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 and all of a sudden there's this almighty bang as these burst to bits, and you just hear as they burst off shattering into a range of tiny splinters going. You just hear, "This is the Wittecombe boy, play very well," like that as it disappears off. And you can see they sort of like look at each other and says, "Oh, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah, we did quite good." Well, and you can see, and just like you can see on the map, an entrance going down.
I shout down the entrance to the mine. "Honey, we're home."
So it looks like it's about a 50 to 100 foot drop down here. You figured there was probably some kind of mechanical device sat on the top of this that would lower a cage down and a cage up, but you can't see. You can see just where Tenariel stood. There was probably sort of like posts in the ground, but they're all gone now, and it's just like a drop down. The miners have got enough rope for you if you would like to lower yourself down.
I'm going to gesture to the miners to have them come up with us. And
I don't think I want to go down there.
What do you recommend for descent? Does it look stable enough for us to enter?
Yeah, it says, looks all right.
Hits it with his foot. I'll buy it.
He says, just don't hit the walls too much when you're going down. Can't see down at the bottom though. You pointy elfy people will probably be able to see better down there than me. He says, I can't see much.
Looking down, can we see anything?
Well, it's about 100 foot down.
So probably not.
So you can see to the limit of your dark vision, which I think is 60 foot, unless somebody's got 120.
No.
No?
No. I think that comes with other light issues.
Right. Yeah. So once you're down at the bottom, you'll be absolutely fine.
We want to stay away from the walls. Should we try to rig something where we're lowering down in the center of it?
The miners say you're probably all right to go down this wall. He said, "Don't just. It'll probably be all right to lower down and pull you up rather than climbing up." He says, "We don't know what it's like climbing. Some of that wood bit might come out."
What about affixing the ropes to the wagon?
Yeah, good idea,
Someone
Mrs.
got a grappling hook.
Rurik has.
Will the wagon fit up in this path area?
Yeah, you can back up the wagon can quite easily come up to here, and it can be used as a stationary block to tie the ropes to, and then lower. You can then probably climb down using your climbing skills to get down to the bottom. There is a question that the miners sort of like to, and the guards, they say, what would you like us to do?
We would like you to stay up top, protect the horse, protect the supplies, and also with one of you, or taking shifts, one of you watching at the top in case we need help getting up quickly.
Yeah, he says, we can do that. As you look at them, they're actually twins. Can you see that? The miners are actually twins called Bill and Ben. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. No worries.
I see a theme going on here.
Yeah.
Rosie before.
Yeah, so Bill and
I was
Ben.
thinking more Dumb and Dumber. Or not Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
So what do you want us to attach the rope then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and attach the rope to the wagon.
So they attach it to the back axle, which looks quite stable, and they tie sort of like 3 bits of rope together, so it's like 150 foot all in all. So there's plenty of rope there, and they look at you and they say, they want to know. He said, "Are you going to climb down, or are we lowering you down?"
I think I'll climb. I don't think you can do the weight of me and my armor.
Okay.
Best to let us climb down.
Okay, so they throw the rope into the cavernous hole, and you see it sort of like unwind and then disappear into the darkness. And just with your elven vision, Errol, you hear as the rope hits something down at the bottom.
If you hear us call up from the bottom, drive the horse forward to
Oh, he says.
the rope up
He
quickly.
says, "Is there a password? Is that a password? Tell us the password."
No, if we shout anything from the bottom of the mine,
Right. So if you shout anything, pull. Yeah, got it.
Wait a minute. Yeah, okay.
You know what you have to do.
Yeah.
You literally shout. If we shout anything up to them.
Cool.
Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope we don't end up with our lives in their hands.
Okay. Would I do that to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's heading down first?
I'll go down first.
Let's vote for Rurik. Yep. Okay. Okay.
Toss the sorcerer down.
Okay. So Julius, your do you have like a climbing skill?
No special skills for climbing.
Right, no special skills at all. So all we need to do then as we're going down is just make sure that you make some strength checks to make sure, because you are quite heavy, aren't you, in your we don't want you slipping and falling 100 foot right the way down to the
Why not
bottom.
take your armor off
Ooh.
and lower the armor down?
Tenario looks at you and says, "Why don't you take your armor off, Julius?"
Because you're just trying to see my bulge.
As I'm quite. What is your strength? Just out of interest.
My strength is 16.
Well, that's quite good. As long as you don't fumble, fumble on the way down, as long as nobody fumbles, then you'll be able to keep hold of the rope and head down. And you'll just make like 2 checks, one for the first 50 foot and one for the second 50 foot. So as long as you don't fumble, then you're absolutely fine. Okay.
I don't have a falling climbing skill. I have a falling skill. I have an impact skill at the end.
So all you'll just do a strength check. So as long as you don't fumble your strength check.
Is it a save or a strength save or?
Yeah, so you're doing a strength. So just roll a strength roll, but what you're doing, as long as you don't get a 1, so 10 you're fine. So that's the first 50 foot.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Now I'm going
Nice.
to move your character to my next page.
Okay.
And I'm just going to make sure that I've got on, because I don't. Right. Who is going down next?
Oh, well.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to Tenario, though, as I start to lower myself down. It's another day, another hole.
That's what she said.
I was trying not to make that dirty, but you go right ahead. Do I need to make athletics check, or can I get away with doing
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can make an athletics check if you would prefer. That's fine.
You actually hear me shout that up?
Actually, no. Well, it's strength? Yeah, I might as well do that.
I'm going to cast guidance on him before he goes down.
Cool.
That'll give him a D4 to any ability check.
Anything that if he needs it. Yeah. So that's your first one, which is fine. Oh!
Wait a minute. We'll use my inspiration point.
All right.
I don't want to drop 100 feet.
Do you want me to catch you?
It would have been 50 foot, but yeah, I think it's probably wise to use your inspiration point at that point. Okay, then. Bazooka. Oh, who's going down next?
I'm going to be sort of out here somewhere waiting to go last.
Okay, then. So
I'm just avoiding it as long as I can.
yeah, I'll send Rurik down next because I've got his character sheet.
I'll hit him with the guidance as well.
Cool. Right, so he will probably use his point of inspiration because I think he got a point of inspiration last round, didn't he? I can't kill him when he's not here. It's not fair. It really is not fair. So we'll say that he uses his point of inspiration. What are you guys doing with your
microphones?
No, with your rolls.
We're making it more interesting.
Yeah, actually, Rurik could probably drop that amount down and still actually make.
But it was on the first one, so that would be 100 feet.
Yes, yeah. It is true. He would have actually dropped, but I can't do that when his character's not when he's not actually here, because that wouldn't be fair. Right. Okay. Who's going next?
I'll step back behind Bazooka.
So Bazooka, you're up,
and I'll cast guidance on him as well, so he has a
Just
chance.
keep thinking about all the gems at the bottom.
So this is your strength check.
Get to do something. Woohoo! Strength.
That's fine. And another one. Oh, now that's how to do it, guys.
Show off.
By the skin of his teeth.
I'll put
Still
you
don't get a
down
chance to
there.
use my inspiration.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Right. Everyone's down to now apart from you.
This happened last time we had to climb down a shaft. I was last.
Well,
and you all left. Strength saving throws, is it?
Correct, yeah.
I shall cast guidance on myself.
Cool. That's one.
I'm assuming that's a fail.
No, as long as you don't fumble, you're fine.
All right.
Oh, I was thinking it was 10 for some reason.
Yeah. So that's absolutely fine. So I'm just putting on your vision because you'll need your night vision when you arrive down here at the bottom. Copy.
And I don't feel happy.
No, you don't feel happy at all because this mine is very
dark.
Very dark. Can you all? Do you all have your vision up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just check Rurik. Okay, guys. So just people in the stream, just so you know, we see this. This is what we see. However, they don't see that. This is what they see. So they just see the limit of their light. So you'll notice that when we move round, the light will move round with them. And that's it. It's a lot better. It's a lot nicer when you've got the lights on, by the way. Okay, so you can see, just so you know, you can see at the entrance here, there seems to be a railway track that runs through this, and it would appear that what would happen is that the carts, little trucks, would just come to the end here, and then they would run into like a cage, and it would then move up. You can see here, because you will be able to see it, this seems to be some kind of turntable, and you can see there's a lever just to one side, and as you can see, the track goes one way, And then in order, you would actually move it to go to the other direction. So if carts were coming this way, you would turn it round. The cart would go onto that turntable. They would turn it, then allow it to come towards us. And so everything would... Yeah, go for it.
Say, should we be in the order that we came down in?
Yeah, so I just, if you can reorder yourselves now. So everything comes to that point, and then would be turned round, and then sort of like brought to this point and go up. You also notice that the tracks, the train tracks, haven't been used for some time. There's a layer of dust on them, or gravel. You also, can you see this here?
Yeah, rocks there.
Yeah, so this looks like there was once a tunnel going off there, and it's sort of like there's been a cave in. And you notice that in most of the places there's wooden supports up, but you do notice in several places the wooden supports have snapped or have broken away from the wall. And places like this, there's actually, you can see that the wooden supports have decayed, fallen out, and a cave-in has happened. And can you please make some constitution saves for me, please?
Oh.
I'll do Warwick's.
Oh dear, 8.
Hey.
Oh, lucky.
Okay, let's have a look. Who's that? So 8, 15. Okay, Tenariel, you almost like feel that there's like dust coming into your lungs. It's as if, but you're a bit confused because it might actually just be that you're down here and you're worried about it, but you're almost like finding it a little bit hard to breathe. It's almost as if, you're thinking, oh, what is that in the back of your throat or in your lungs? There doesn't seem to be anything in the actual air, any particles floating around, but you definitely feel that you're finding it hard to breathe.
I'm gonna put tire cloth over my mouth, the old cowboy bandit kind of cloth over the mouth.
Cool idea. I'm just going to put that little brown dot on you because you failed that save throw. Are there aid spells still up?
No, because we've travelled several days.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know.
I'll cast it again.
On them?
Because it lasts 8 hours, on the same 3. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, Tin Man, let's get this over with so we can get back topside.
Hey, dilemmas. Think. Start moving forward. Which way do you want to go?
Let's go left to right. We're probably going to have to explore each path. Although I can see over this way, it looks like something's blocking it. We may need to get the miners down here to explore that area.
There is an entranceway right here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And up here, there's also up north. There's also here that it does go off a little bit. And I'm not too sure about in here.
Yeah, it looks like another path that way as well.
Yeah, and also looks like up here branches to the north a little bit. So we got multiple. We could do the right path just to. It looks like it doesn't go anywhere, but we can
rule it out.
Rule it out, yeah.
All right, let's start.
Okay, so let me move you slightly back, Julius, because something would have happened as you set up there.
Of course it did.
So as you set off there, you suddenly feel the floor vibrating, and then you notice, and Tenariel and Ervol, you feel this as well, and then you see this happening. All of a sudden, the ground almost like goes molten as it vibrates, and also like it vibrates so rapidly that it appears to be like liquid sand, and then out of it erupts something that looks like that.
It's a graboid.
And guys, I think we will leave it there for tonight, and we will come back next week when we'll see, with Rurik hopefully back with us, and see whether or not you can defeat the purple, the worm. Okay, so before we go tonight, would you just like to tell people where they can find you? Off you go.
Hi guys, my name is Flat Badger. You can find me on Twitch TV as a variety streamer, Twitch TV /flat_battery. I would normally play another game straight after this. However, I'm going to be ill. So I'm going to get my head down and just rest and hide from the world.
Oh.
Vote for me.
Okay. Anyone else?
Go ahead.
After you. No,
Okay.
go on.
I'm Cryptex. You can find me here on Twitch tomorrow morning, actually. Well, tomorrow morning for me, it'll be 4 p.m. GMT. I'm going to be starting a Dead Space run.
Cool. Excellent.
I am Sprocketeer on Twitch. I can be found here Saturdays. Curse of Strahd tomorrow morning, well, 1 p.m. on Fuzzy Mushroom Blues stream. Monday night, 11 p.m. on Skagath's first edition AD&D game, which has been interesting because I thought I could remember all the first edition rules, but seemingly I can't. But it's been 30 years, so that's an excuse.
Excellent. And Big Beastie.
I am Big Beastie. You can find me in the same name as... Oh, well, there you go. I've been cast out. Thank you, Inels. You can find me there. And in this channel on a Tuesday, playing some Shadowrun.
Excellent. And Rurik's not actually here at the moment. He's had to go off in an emergency. Is that everybody? Because I forgot about Longshanks when I was playing Shadowrun the other day. So yeah, that's everybody. So my name's Inwills, and you've been watching the Back of Beyond here with me. We will be back playing Dungeons and Dragons next Saturday at 8 o'clock. You can find me here tomorrow playing Elder Scrolls Online at 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and then we'll be playing Shadowrun on Tuesday starting at 7 o'clock. Can I just say thank you to everybody who's come along and watched the adventure tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and we'll come back next week to see what happens with the Dustbuster worm that has just appeared, and definitely without this Garaf onesie on, so hopefully I will not feel that I'm about to pass out from the heat. Okay, it only remains for me to say have fun, guys, and I'll catch you all later, and until then, consider yourself waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Bye.